Hey y'all, welcome to Back Porch Cooking and Reminiscing. I'm Roger, and as always, we're glad to have y'all here with us today. So today we're going to be making one of the most iconic Southern dishes that you can make. And what we're going to be making is called red-eye gravy. And we're going to make us some good old Southern home-style biscuits to go with it, and then we're going to pour that red-eye gravy over top of those biscuits. And it's going to make your tongue want to slap your brains out.
Yeah. Porch boards sway in a slow rhythm. Got the screen door sighing a low hum. That old wood stove is cooking something good. Smell of bacon filling up the neighborhood.
So to be able to make red-eye gravy, the first thing that you've got to have is some black coffee. What you want is a good fresh ground coffee. And that's where our sponsor today comes in. The Amzchef anti-static conical burr coffee grinder. Now, up until a few weeks ago, I always used one of the old style coffee grinders that basically turned my coffee into a uneven dust. The thing I really like about this Amzchef coffee grinder is that it uses steel conical burrs to grind your coffee, whereas the old type coffee grinders used a blade to chop up and cut your coffee beans. And what that really means for your coffee is that with the Amzchef, it doesn't heat up your beans and it doesn't burn off those delicate rich oils before the water even hits your coffee grounds. And with the Amzchef, when you turn it on and you start grinding your coffee, the coffee comes out of this little chute right down here and it falls into the container. So let's grind us some coffee so we can make some coffee to have for our red-eye gravy. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit that button there. Digital screen comes up. So I'm going to set it on 3 cups. Now I've already loaded the hopper up here with beans, so it's ready to go. Now here you can adjust. You've got a little arrow here, and over here it says French press. It says drip pour over, and then it says espresso. So you can dial it in to wherever you want it to be. So we're going to put it on, we're going to go kind of toward the espresso just a little bit because we want this to be pretty strong coffee. And like I say, we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and bump it up to 4. All right, there's our 4. That's how much we're going to do. And now the only thing you got to do is hit this button over here. And it counted down from 4 to 0, and then it cuts itself off. So now we've got enough coffee in here to make 4 cups of good strong coffee. But I do want to tell you guys, I'm going to leave a link in the description for the Amzchef coffee grinder, and y'all go check it out, because I'm telling you, if you're using one of those old style grinders, you are going to be amazed at one of these. I think you'd be happy with one of these if you're a coffee drinker and you like to grind your own beans. I've been using it for a couple of weeks now, and I am very satisfied with it. Just want to thank the folks over at Amzchef for sending this to us and asking us to try it out. We sure do appreciate them. So we've got our coffees made and ready, and our biscuits, I put them in the oven. Now on the biscuits, I'm doing our Southern home style biscuits, and I'll leave you the link in the description. You can go and watch that video and see exactly how I made the biscuits. But we're ready to get our ham in the skillet and get it started cooking. We're using the ham biscuit slices. So the way to do this is to put a little lard or bacon grease in your skillet first, about a around a tablespoon or so of lard or bacon grease. I'm out of bacon grease, so we're going to use lard today, but it's not going to matter because our ham's going to cook up and it's going to leave us some delicious little particles in that skillet. So we're using the Clifty Farms country ham slices. This is what that looks like. And it's just a nice little slice of country ham. And so we're going to put it in the skillet and let it start cooking. And we're going to cook it for about a minute on each side. All right, so that's got that in there. And like I say, about a minute on each side. So our ham's cooked. You can see it's starting to get some brown around the edges. So it's time to pull it out. We're just going to take it and lay it onto a plate over here. Sure does smell good. I haven't had country ham in a long time. So we got it all out. Now you can see we've got the little brown fond there. It's called fond. Got that in the skillet. That's what we want because that's where our flavor is going to be. So now we're about ready to put our coffee in. So we've got our half a cup of strong black coffee. And we're just going to pour that straight into that pan. And then we got a quarter cup of regular water. All right. Now we're going to take our spoon here, or our wooden, I don't know what this thing is, kind of a spatula. And we're just going to scrape the bottom of this pan and deglaze it and get all those good little brown bits off the bottom of it. Now, that's one thing about the red eye gravy. You don't really make a whole lot of it. But then again, you don't need a whole lot because it has got so much salt in it. So we're going to let this reduce a little bit. And then we will have our red eye gravy. So our red eye gravy has reduced by about a third now. And we are ready to pour it into a bowl. And that's when the magic happens. So are you ready for a little history on red eye gravy? Probably a tall tale, but it's pretty funny. So I'm going to read this to you here. And this is the myth, General Andrew Jackson's hungover cook. And it says every good southern recipe needs a tall tale, and this is a big one for red eye gravy. The legend goes back in the early 1800s, General Andrew Jackson, before he was president, was out in the field with his troops. He called his camp cook over to order dinner, only to find the man had been hitting the moonshine a little too hard the night before. His eyes were bloodshot and red as fire. Jackson supposedly barked out an order, "Bring me some country ham with gravy as red as your eyes." The soldiers nearby thought it was hilarious, started calling the pan sauce red eye gravy. And the name stuck. It's a classic story, even if it's more folklore than it is fact. Now, the real reason it's called red eye gravy. The name comes down to physics and chemistry in a round bowl. Authentic red eye gravy means that the liquids don't fully mix together because you're combining water-based black coffee with oil-based ham grease. When you pour the gravy into the round bowl or over a plate of grits, the heavier coffee layer sinks to the bottom, while the amber-colored ham fat and grease float to the top. In a round dish, that ring of glistening fat forms a perfect circle right in the center, looking exactly like a glossy, reddish-brown human eye. And if you use a little red pepper or cayenne in your ham, it makes the eye look even redder. Now, beyond the legends, red eye gravy is a master class in Southern resourcefulness. Historically, it has often been called poor man's gravy, bird eye gravy, or cedar gravy. And unlike sawmill gravy or milk gravy, it doesn't use flour to make a roux, and it doesn't require fresh milk or cream, which would spoil quickly without refrigeration. It was born out of hard times and a desire to waste absolutely nothing. So there's just a little bit of story, legend, and history on red-eye gravy. All right, so we're going to pour it in our bowl here. And in about 30 seconds, you're going to see why they call it red-eye gravy. Can you see why they call it red-eye? You got clear around the edges and you got red right in the center. So our red-eye gravy is done. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our pieces of ham and we're going to throw them back in the red-eye gravy and just let them soak up some of that red-eye gravy. That's going to be so good. I'm going to show you our biscuits too. All right, so that's got our ham in there. And now guys, if y'all have never had ham, country ham before, it is super salty, okay? So just be ready for that. I'm going to move that over here and I'm going to grab these biscuits because I want y'all to see these biscuits. Those are some beautiful southern homemade biscuits. And we're going to take those, we're going to put some of this red-eye gravy over it in just a minute. All right, so we got a couple of biscuits here. We're going to get us some of this red-eye gravy, give it a little stir. Get us some in a spoon. We're just going to kind of pour it over top of these biscuits. And again, guys, this doesn't take much. Because remember, it is going to be salty. And if you taste it and you think it's too salty before you put it on your biscuits, you can add just a little pinch of sugar to it. Just to kind of cut that saltiness if you need to. All right, so got that. We're going to throw us a piece or two of this ham on here. And we're going to give this a taste. So we are ready to try this out. This biscuit's got that red-eye gravy soaked into it. I'm ready to give it a try. Guys, that biscuit tastes so good with that red-eye gravy on it. I'm going to try a piece of our country ham now. Delicious. Ham was delicious, so tender, got that saltiness to it that country ham's supposed to have. Guys, this is a great meal. Now, if you want to do a breakfast out of it, you can do some scrambled eggs, fried eggs. I have even seen people make grits and put this red-eye gravy over grits. Now, I've never had it that way, even though I'm a huge grit fan. I've never tried it that way, so maybe next time that'll be something I'm gonna try. But so you can make you a good full breakfast out of this, or you can make the red-eye gravy and make you some biscuits. Put the ham on your biscuits, pour you a little bit of that red-eye gravy on it. That's a taste of country. So if you've never had red-eye gravy and country ham, you're missing out. So guys, I hope you'll make this for your family, share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, click on that like and subscribe button for me. Click on the bell. We sure do appreciate it. Appreciate y'all being here with us and watching the videos, and we will see you soon.